2023 Volkswagen Tiguan SEL R-Line 4Motion in deep black pearl. It has a lot of competition, starting with the new Honda CR-V, your Hyundai Tucson, your Mazda CX-50. Which one is going to have that performance attribute on the exterior, technology on the interior, and safety with practical use for every day? I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides. I'm going to go over all the specs and details starting now. SEL R-Line gets all the bells and whistles, starting off with LED headlamps, daytime runnings, and the light bar that integrates its grille that brushes behind the Volkswagen badging. 360-degree reverse camera, front and rear parking sensors. The chrome is going to be the element here because this is not the black. Gloss black all over the lower. I do like this setup a little bit better than the Honda CR-V. The reason why is because the CR-V looks very similar to a Mazda CX-50, in which they do a great job with performance attributes, but this one sets itself out with a flat, short hood with the fenders popping out, matte black surrounding them, 20-inch multi-spoke wheels, 13.4-inch disc reading for the front, 11.8 is the rear, both ventilated, strut front suspension, multi-link rear suspension, both coil springs and anti-roll bars, with ground clearance over 7.5 inches, which is more than that refresh CR-V, the Mazda CX-50, and the Hyundai Tucson. Even though the length has increased over 2 inches for the CR-V, this is still longer. The roof rails are raised, similar to a Subaru Forester. Volkswagen signature badging between the doors. The lines start with that R-line wrapping into your wraparound LED tail lamps. Tiguan rode out, towing up to 1,500 pounds, which is not the best in class. The Mazda CX-50 can tow 2,000 pounds, so that will beat all of them. The wraparound for the chrome and on the lower bumper, and you'll get your quad exhaust outlet look. The exhaust is tucked underneath, which is a staple for the Volkswagen brand. Power lift gate to go inside to 37.6 cubic feet of storage. We have a 12-volt LED interior lights. Underneath the floor, a spare tire all tucked underneath. Split fold the rear bench in the back at a 60-40 split, increasing the cargo to 67.5 cubic feet, 2.0 liter TSI. We need to go inside, start it up so you can hear that exhaust now. And they back the performance with a 2.0 liter 4-cylinder turbocharged TSI, producing 184 horsepower and 221 pound-feet of torque. That's paired to an 8-speed Tiptronic automatic transmission, achieving 21 to 28 mpgs. Inside the Volkswagen Tiguan SEL R-Line, you're going to receive 39.6 inches of headroom, 40.2 inches of legroom. You do sit up a little bit, but the door panels are kind of to my shoulder, so it's not so bad in the sense of you fitting abnormally if you're tall. Titanium black leather bucket front seats, 10-way power adjustment with memory for the driver, 8-way power adjustment for the passenger. They're heated seats. The dashboard gets that wood inlay look. You're gonna get the gloss black around your air vents, even into the center. You'll also receive a storage pocket on the top, going into your 8-inch infotainment screen with gesture, pinch, and swipe. Click into the menu so you can see we have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, AM, FM, Sirius XM, streaming, Bluetooth audio, dual climatron. Click back into your menu, CarNet, Wi-Fi hotspot, switch it to reverse. We have a reverse camera with full trajectory. When you click on this little car icon, you'll see your front and rear parking sensors and a 360-degree reverse camera. Working down underneath it, your dual climate control touchpad, which is simple and easy to use. You'll have a wireless charging pad, USB-C, and a 12-volt right here. You have your driver mode select, your park assist, the gloss black around your gear lever. Because it's 4Motion, you can change different driving modes. So you'll have your snow mode, normal, sport, and custom. Custom you can adjust, so you'll just click onto here and you can adjust everything here to make it as sport derived as you like. Cup holders, a 16.9 ounce fits without any issue. I would say about a 20 ounce to maybe 32 ounce. Area for pins or key fobs, going to be more sport derived for your elbows, and it's going to be smaller but a deep storage pocket. The steering wheel will get the flat bottom R-Line badging, multi functionality, touch sensitive, and I do like how sporty it is derived. The gauge cluster has a full digital reader. You can change the whole setup to make it more easier for you in the sense of seeing how fast you're going for your tach and your odometer. You can also change the center and put your navigation. The only disadvantage is when you put that navigation here, when it loads, you will lose the ability to have it here. You can change it so it's not the full screen, and you'll still have your odometer and tach. To put it back here, double tap, now you'll have your navigation, but you will not have it in the center. On the side here, you'll have a storage pocket for the driver. Going into your door panel, Fender upgraded sound system, one touch up and down for your windows. It's going to be more sport derived. It's a deep storage pocket, just not such a wide opening. For the back seats, I'm at 39.1 inches of headroom, 36.5 inches of legroom. At 6'3", I'm not going to have any issues. Armrest does not cover the cup holders, a USB-C port and a 12-volt right here. And they have the new little covering. I don't necessarily like that one too much, but it's easy to pop out and in. A little storage tray. You have your air vents, storage behind both of the front seats. The door panel will have your everyday materials on the top and pretty much throughout. You'll have that leatherette right here. It's a little firm for your elbows, and the storage pocket's about the same size as the front, and a little storage tray on each side of the seats. Sitting into the center, headroom is not going to be an issue, nor is legroom. Feet space isn't either, but butt and shoulder space is, because the door panels are a little bit more wide in the back compared to the front, and the bench isn't as wide. And the nice thing about these seats is you can recline it once you find it. It doesn't go necessarily so far back, but you can also adjust it forward, which will give optimal cargo capacity to the back. But realistically, you got enough cargo. I'd put it all the way back like this and enjoy the drive. Taking the 2023 Volkswagen Tiguan SEL R-Line 4Motion out for our test run. It's literally a sentence. You sit up higher because the ground clearance is the best amongst all the rivals. The performance, unfortunately, is going to be the worst compared to all the rivals. But because of that ground clearance, this almost makes you feel like you're in a bigger vehicle than it actually is. So I like that, because if you don't really want to go full-blown mid-size SUV, and I know the numbers illustrate you're pretty much there, you can do this and it'll be a little bit smaller variant, and you can option it with the third row. As for the length, it's over 185 inches, but it's not really bad with blind spots because there's windows all over. You also have your blind spot monitoring. Interior noise, you will hear that engine throughout every time you push the pedal. I just wish they would have increased the performance numbers to it when they did the refresh last year. And you can see you're going to be hitting about 2.5 to 3 RPMs on all parameters. As for the windscreen, it's large enough. It's actually pretty sleek in the sense that it feels very sport derived. 221 pound-feet of torque is not going to push you back into your seat, which we'll demonstrate that in a second. As for the rivals, the new CR-V is awesome in the sense of a lot of room. They've really kind of copied how much space Volkswagen is doing, but they give you more seat settings, which I don't know why they don't offer you 12-way seat adjustment here, and then they take 2-seat adjustment on the passenger. When you're at a near $40,000 price point, you really want to see 12-way power seat adjustments. The maneuverability, you can get in and out easy. It's going to be noisy cabin, similar to the CR-V, but I think the interior of this is a little bit more user-friendly, and you have more storage capacity in the door pockets comparing it to all the rivals. As for the seating in the back, it actually feels wider in the back seat. Towing is not going to be the best, but it does match everybody except for the Mazda CX-50. I'm going to do a little wrap around to see for turn radius is going to get about 2 and a part lane, and let's rock and roll. You have upgraded wheels, you got a turbo 4, expect to hear noise in the interior of the cabin. Now there is 3 things I like and 3 things that I dislike, because anything more than that, I'd be buying this R-Line SEL 4Motion. Starting off with the 3 things that I like about the vehicle, I feel this is a very stylish vehicle in the sense of it packs luxury and sport all blended in, and you have clearance that beats all the rivals. Second thing that I like about the vehicle is everything is digital readers, which when you get into Mazda, you're paying a little bit more money and you don't get that. The last thing that I like about the vehicle is you get touch sensitive pads for your climate control and on the steering wheel. 3 things that I dislike about the vehicle: they didn't do anything with performance. The suspension, it's a bit noisy. We're gonna just tackle it and put it as one. The second thing that I dislike about the vehicle is we have a 360-degree reverse camera. However, I personally know people that own vehicles from Volkswagen and they don't even know how to operate it, because you have to click that little button in order to display it. It displays as a reverse camera first. The last thing that I dislike about the vehicle is everywhere you put your arms to rest is firm, but on the side of the door panel is soft. They should have put the soft material where your arm is, not where you're never going to actually touch. Going back to the rivals, the Mazda CX-50 has 2 engine options, so you can option the turbo, and when you're at this price point, you can do that and you'll have a lot more performance, and the towing capacity also increases. The new CR-V is going to be a bit more wide in the back seat, but this is going to have more head and leg room in the back seat. Plus, you have more configuration in the back seats than that. You can also option a 3rd row. So if you're looking for a vehicle, you don't want to go near 190 to 200 inches, you can get this, option it with the 3rd row. The Hyundai Tucson clearance is going to be a little bit less. You'll have a little bit more amenities in this. At this price point, you will have to option a few $1,000s more in order to get some of the same amenities, but then the screen will be larger for your infotainment. You will not receive gesture in any of those.